Yes, yes, this is Mr. Controversy, and this is the infamous three-point conversion station. Keep it locked.
Yes, yes. Welcome to another great show for the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. It's another beautiful Saturday. Man, it's a lot to talk about. And if you didn't know, of course, you were talking or listening to the host, Mr. Controversy. Did you miss me? Very excited for today. It's a big day in sports. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of news. Oh, man, we're in that prime time. We're about to go into the new year. But there's so much going on in sports. First, I'm not doing this by myself. You know, I got the one and only, the one who makes everything happen, my man G. What up, G?
Yo.
And then I got my road dog partner in crime, D Intellectual. What up, D?
What up, though? What up, though? What up, though?
How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm good. Can't complain about yourself, brother.
I'm good, man. You know, law trying to mess with me and stuff, but we good. Can't nobody stop us from doing what we do.
No, that happens, man. That
happens. It does. But, hey, man, big day today. First of all, how was your Christmas, the holidays?
I mean, it was good. It was the holidays, what it was, you know.
Relax, get some rest. Family, yeah. That's what it was.
Holidays ain't for us like that, you know what I mean?
It ain't what?
It ain't for us like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the kids and
right.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
No, you're right.
You got everything you want. You got a bag full of presents and stuff.
I got a bag full of rest. That's what I wanted, and I got it.
That's what's up.
You know, but it was cool, man. You know what I'm saying? We did a family thing and everything. So, but look, whatever. That's in the past. Today, Saturday, playoff Saturday. We got two big games today in college football. Everybody's been waiting for, which I think they got it right. They got the 4 right. That should be in there.
Yeah, you can't get mad at that. I mean, they did what they supposed to do all year.
Right. And so you have LSU going up against Oklahoma, and then the late game, Ohio State playing Clemson. So 2 big games, which we're going to get into today. Also, this situation with Antonio Brown that just came out of nowhere. Like, I say it's a Christmas gift to media. I don't know about sports fans, but definitely media. That was a Christmas gift to us, you know. And just for the fact that this was probably the last team that you would have thought to look at him. But, hey, it came up, so we're going to get into that. Also, man, Arthur Blank came out and said that Thomas Dimitroff and Dan Quinn, they're going to be here next year.
Wow.
So you see how he feels, but we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about you know how he feels, but you're going to see if me or G agrees or do we feel differently. Then we got NBA. The LA Lakers lost 4 in a row. LeBron might be hurt. Well, he is hurt, but he might not play. Should this be some concern? What's going to happen? Is LeBron hiding? We don't know, you know, but we're going to get into that. And then we're going to talk about this top 100 NFL list, this team. You know, the quarterback came out, and a lot of people upset about some of the people left off. You got the running backs. Marshall Faulk, he's not on there. So we're going to get into that as well. And then we got Dr. Donnie Fowler III from orthopedic for Ortho Atlanta. He's going to come in and talk about the major injuries, the significant injuries as far as Justin Fields, and you got other players trying to get into the playoffs Sunday, and even with LeBron's situation. So It's going to be a great show. Make sure you let your family and friends know that they can listen to the show locally in Atlanta on 1100 AM WWWE, The Real. Also, we're live on Facebook. The 3-Point Conversion Facebook page was going on. Then we're live on iHeartRadio, Radio Now, TuneIn Radio. So let them know. And you ready to do this, bro?
Let's get it.
It is time to get to these quick hits. Let's get it. Shout out to Sharon Beats for the sick beats. So, first off, Zebo. Zach Randolph.
Zebo.
The player for the Portland Trailblazers, Memphis Grizzlies, Sacramento Kings, and the LA Clippers and New York Knicks. He was a two-time All-Star and All-NBA third-team selection in 2011. He has announced his retirement after an 18-year career. I don't know, man. First, Memphis said they're going to retire number 50.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he only made an All-Star twice. This is Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, and it was. Think of the teams that he was in the West, right? You know what I mean? Like, it was some ballers out in the West. You talking about Tim Duncan every year,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was some big men out in the West. Zebo put up numbers. You know what I mean? He gonna come in and do what he do. One of the original OGs. You knew not to play with him. He kind of was like, Oak Tree back in the day, meaning his demeanor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, don't play with Zach Randolph. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're gonna get.
Bruh.
Hey, that's what
he's the last of a dying breed.
Yeah.
Because the post up power forward is all but legislated out of the game.
Yeah, and he will always be famous for telling DeMarcus Cousins, here, bullies get bullied. I would never forget that.
Yeah.
Bullies get bullied.
First, can't let him know, hey man, this ain't what you think.
I am looking forward if he will participate if the 30 for 30 is ever made about the Jailblazers.
Yeah.
He was on those teams.
Yeah.
Right.
Then
I'll be interested to see if he's ever in that.
And then later in Memphis he wound up getting caught with all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. He's about that life.
Shout out to Zebo.
Zebo.
Moving on, Kawhi Leonard is named AP Male Athlete of the Year for 2019. He led the Toronto Raptors to their first NBA championship and was named Finals MVP. His playoff performance also included the epic game-winning shot against the 76ers in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Semi. Also, Simone Biles was AP Female Athlete of the Year, which made it 2 years in a row.
Hey.
2 years in a row.
We got male athlete
For the first time.
female athlete.
Right. Which was dope. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Thoughts
beautiful.
on that?
That's a great thing. Really can't get mad at Kawhi. What he did, he went straight to Toronto and did what he's supposed to do and bring y'all a championship. That's why, in an instance where he said he didn't stay there, they cheered him when he went there.
Right.
Usually in an instance like that, they'd get booed or whatever the case may be. I mean, he did everything he was supposed to do. He hit that big shot against the 76ers. I mean, who else really can you go with? I mean, Lamar Jackson, he hasn't ended it yet, right? Patrick Mahomes, he didn't win it all. Rafael Nadal, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think he'll be up there eventually, but I like those. Like that we represented it good.
So, what about Simone? I mean, you look at what she's
come
done,
on,
man.
They changed rules because of her.
That's Tiger.
Changing rules.
When you doing the Tiger Woods,
or the AI, you know what I'm saying?
AI,
They changing
but
rules
Tiger
because
Woods,
of
I'm
that.
saying because how they changed the golf courses because he was that good.
Yeah, definitely that. But I really appreciate the AI because they said, you know what, you crossed over Michael Jordan. We're gonna have to you can't do that.
Right.
You can't do that.
But, and with Simone Biles, she was doing stuff that
That
the
they-
other ones physically cannot
do it.
do.
And they was like, dude, you can't do that. Like
It's too hard for everyone else.
Like that don't even make sense.
No.
That legit don't make
No,
sense.
it
Like
don't.
that's discrimination.
Yeah, it is. No, you're right, it is. Moving on. So Evansville's coach Walter McCarty, y'all remember Walter McCarty used to played for the Kentucky Wildcats, played for the Boston Celtics and other teams, has been placed on administrative leave pending a Title IX investigation. The school announced Friday. The school also sent out an internal campus memo detailing the timeline of possible Title IX violations. The university has received reports of unwelcome conduct by Coach McCarty since his arrival in 2018. Man, what's going on?
When I first read about it, I didn't know it was that Walter McCarthy. But thanks for definitely bringing that up. Remember, he had that short career, I think, because of injuries or whatever the case may be.
Right.
He's probably going to be fired. Yeah, that's based on sex. You know, the Title IX, that's like a big thing. I'm not sure if it's discrimination based on sex. Not saying that he did anything, sexual or anything like that. Don't know the full reports. But they've received reports of unwelcome conduct since his arrival in March of 2018.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, since you've been here, you've been causing these issues. And we've counseled you about your behavior. In the last 2 weeks, they've received more reports. So it sounds like to me that he's probably going to be fired.
Yeah.
But the biggest issue with that is, you had your opportunity at a small college in Evansville. You blew that, and what would that mean for your future, right?
Right.
Your future probably is washed now.
Yeah, so it's a wrap for him.
And unfortunately, he deserves it if that's what the issue was.
Yeah, yep. Moving on. Damn, you never see things like this. So a stat correction from Sunday's New York Giants victory over the Washington Redskins allowed Marcus Golden to earn a bonus. So Golden was given a credit for a half sack with Lorenzo Carter on the third quarter sack of Dwayne Haskins. But after further review, he was given credit for a full sack, giving him 10 on the season and a $1 million bonus.
When I first read it, I was real surprised. The Giants probably didn't know that they were going to do that first, because they probably would have said, hey, go ahead and leave.
Right,
Don't switch that up. But he definitely deserves it. I think he has double as the next person in line on the Giants. That's probably their lone bright spot. But he was working on a kind of a prove it deal, and to be able to earn that $1 million, man, that's huge, man. That's a nice bag, man.
Yeah, that's. Just think about it. You thought you didn't get it, and then you get a call like, you know what?
Man, look here. Man, look, I'm going to take somebody out to dinner today.
Somebody pray for him. That's all I got to say. Moving on. New York Jets running back Le'Veon Bell was randomly selected to complete an HGH blood test on Friday after he previously said he would no longer comply with those tests. In November, he said he was tested 5 times in a 10-week period. Bell was previously suspended in 2016 for missing several mandatory tests. Well, when you missing tests, bro, it just looked like you. I feel him, but when you miss tests, what does that look like?
It looked like you're trying to do it, but 5 times in a 10-week period,
it's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. But that's what you signed up for, dog. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think I forgot what sport it was, but somebody had a great weekend or something, or a great game, and they went and got tested. I think Danny Green dunked on somebody.
Yeah,
he caught a tip dunk,
right?
And then he got tested right after.
Right.
They were like, dude, you don't do that. So let's see.
There was a story earlier this week where Josh Richardson on the 76ers, he tweeted out I didn't realize that Brian's voice on Family Guy was in the theme song, and now I can't unhear it. And then someone's like, you're going to get tested next week. and then his next tweet was like, guess what happened today?
I got tested. That's how it be. When you do something out of the ordinary, they're like, dude, you're not supposed to be doing that.
Right.
How you know that was Brian's voice?
Hey, I just remember I was working at this one job, and I remember big establishment. Yeah. Big company. Just put a big company in Atlanta. I remember when y'all want some Coke? Oh, never mind. But anyway, they would be like, every time you went on vacation, you got tested. Every time you came back, you got tested. So
they need to test the makers of nothing.
And last but not least, Nike is now selling. Please get to stop it button ready, G. Is now selling LeBron James jerseys, which are Ohio State LeBron James jerseys. Nike has released an alumni jersey for LeBron, even though this... Let me make sure I watch what I say. Even though this dude has never attended his school. During an appearance on ESPN's College Game Day in Columbus in 2008, LeBron said he would have gone to Ohio State if he didn't go to the NBA after high school. Now, first, before you get to stop it, I'm happy for LeBron, but Nike gets to stop it for this. Stop it. How in the world, D?
Because they want all that bread. They let you know they want all that bread. I bet you it'll sell out in 10 minutes.
It will. I know it will. I'm happy for him.
It's going to sell out in 10 minutes, and they're not going to make it again, so it's going to be like a limited edition. Type.
But they need to also make Kevin Garnett Michigan jerseys,
right.
Kobe Bryant Duke jerseys,
but
Dwight Howard North Carolina jerseys.
You think it won't start it? You think it won't start it? Think about it. If this is successful, imagine what'll come. Like you said, KG Michigan.
Well, the only reason why
Kobe Duke.
But look, the only reason why that won't happen because now I will say
nobody
this.
Never came out and really said.
Not even that. Nobody reps the team like LeBron reps Ohio State. Like he's, you know what I'm saying. You don't have that, but I feel if that's the case, because you say he said I would have gone. Then Kobe need to get to Duke, like you said, Michigan for Kevin, KD, and so on. But either or, I digress. That reps
Tracy McGrady may have also gone to Duke.
Right.
They want all the bread.
Imagine that team.
They want all the bread.
You get Kyrie Irving would have went to Duke.
See how fast Kaepernick.
Oh, that's right. He played for him.
See, for like
he played two
and a
games.
half games.
I forgot.
See how quick Kaepernick's shoes sold out.
Yep. That's
10 minutes.
That's what Nike do. So they smart. Hey, we're gonna take a quick break. Don't go anywhere because we're about to talk about this Antonio Brown situation. We're about to go deeper than what y'all been hearing and what y'all know about. Just keep it locked. We'll be right back.
Good morning. This is Greg Hurd with your sports news break. The Atlanta Hawks lost to the Milwaukee Bucks Friday night 112-86. Allen Crabbe led the Hawks with 20 points. John Collins had 9 points and 15 rebounds in his first home game after his suspension. Trae Young left the game in the second quarter due to an ankle injury. The Hawks play in Chicago today, and Young is not expected to play. Two-time junior lightweight world champion Gervonta Tank Davis will have his first fight in the lightweight division against former featherweight champion Eucharist Gamboa tonight at State Farm Arena. The two are vying for the vacant championship at 135 pounds. Georgia State can secure its first 8-win season in program history with the win over Wyoming in the Nova Home Loans Arizona Bowl on New Year's Eve. The Atlanta Falcons will finish the season on the road versus Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers beat the Falcons 35-22 in Week 12, and the Falcons can end the season on a 4-game winning streak. The Buffalo Bills are locked in at the 5th seed in the AFC playoffs, but Coach Sean McDermott will not rest his starters in the season finale at home against the Jets. And the Washington Redskins will have their season finale on the road and look to ruin the Dallas Cowboys' playoff hopes with a win. The Cowboys need a win and a Philadelphia Eagles loss to the New York Giants to get into the playoffs. So please continue following us at The 3 Point Conversion for all of your major sports news and updates at the3pointconversion.com. It's where fans' opinions matter.
Hey folks, Handsome Josh is here to reveal some big news to all the AM 1100 listeners.
I have an app.
That's right, you can now check out all your favorite programs right here on The Real with the Real 1100 app. Whether it's sports, entertainment, or lifestyle, the Real 1100 definitely has you covered.
So why don't you just tell me how much it's going to cost me?
And here's the best part. It's available in your Google Play or Apple App Store, and it's free to download.
Actually, you can count me in on this one.
So download the Real 1100 app today and stay in tune with The Real.
Yo, you chilling with the 3 Point Conversion Sports Line. It's Chad Johnson.
Get ready. From the oven to your ears, it's now time for the Hot
Yes, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And I'm your host, Mr. Controversy, sitting with my co-host, The Intellectual. And his next segment, The Hot Topic, is brought to you by Seneca's Barbershop, located on 3000 Chapel Hill Road, Suite 206, Douglasville, Georgia. Man, check them out. It's a great barbershop. Everyone can cut. Talk sports, community, unity. They're very, it's all about the children. And apparently, they're very serious about cooking as well. And also, you might see somebody imitate a wrestling character, just out of nowhere. What up, Drew? I want to also say what up to Simha the Barber, which is Dwayne Chambers. Make sure you check him out. He's the last barber on the left. Once you come in, all the way down on the left, you can follow him on Instagram at Simha the Barber. That's SIMHATHEBARBER. Also, shout out to G. Congratulations on your new house, sir. That's what's up, bro. All right, so like I stated earlier, Antonio Brown. I mean, he's good for just coming in and just, shocking the media world, the sports world, doing something crazy. He did some crazy time too, but the fact that we're actually talking about the New Orleans, worked him out. Now, when you first heard, what was your thoughts when you first saw this?
That would be a heck of a duo for next year.
For next year?
Yeah.
You don't think he would? Why you don't think he would?
They're not going to let him play this year, man. You think they would want? Imagine if the Saints get to the Super Bowl. It's the 100th year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl, biggest stage. Who do you think every reporter would be in front of?
Of course.
You think the NFL will want that?
But here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Antonio Brown is safe when he's in front of a camera and it's on. He's as dangerous when he's on Twitter or on social media.
I mean, it depends because you got to think about the questions that would be asked, right?
Right.
And when he's asked the questions, he's not going not tell the truth or give his point of view, right?
Right.
And something that, Shay was saying, you don't know what you're going to get each day. Like on Monday, while we covered them, you may get this, right? Then you come in Tuesday, you might get the other AB. Or Thursday, you might get AB that, you know what I mean? You don't know.
Right.
Who knows what AB you going to get?
Right. True. So, because right now, he can still play. He's eligible to play.
Mm-hmm. Until he signed with somebody. That's what I'm telling you. As soon as he signed, they're going to say you're on the exempt
right.
list.
Yep.
As soon as he signed.
So, let me ask you this. Why do you think the Saints worked him out?
Because they said they don't know. Like the NFL hasn't said what, you know what I mean? And I think that that's bogus. Me and you talked about it, right? So this happened in what? Week 1, week 2? We're in week 17.
Mm-hmm.
So they haven't done the investigation at all.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's to force the NFL to make some kind of decision because anytime these investigators come up, they always do it at their own pace. They drag their feet, and then the decision comes down most of the time untimely for the player and that team
right.
and or that team.
Right.
Now you're in a situation where this dude been out for 15 weeks. Y'all haven't done anything because what they want to do is they want him to sign, and then we're going to make you be penalized as opposed to you
that's
sitting
the
out.
reason why he hasn't been signed is because, the
Don't
NFL hasn't said what they're going to do.
So what you're going to do is you're going to make me wait till next year to do anything, so you're going to do this on your time. No, they had the whole 15 weeks to do the due diligence, right? And could have gave him what? At the most, he's going to get, 6 games? That's the most because that's what people that even – that did real bad things, right? I don't want to say real bad things, but whatever. He didn't go to jail, but he does have this track record of doing things, right? So what'd you say, 4 to 6 games, something like that. Like he could have served that and been signed by now. Because you got to think about it. It's 8 teams that, quote unquote, 8 teams that have been looking for him, looking at him, 6 to 8 teams. I think I don't like how they playing him. You know, regardless of how you feel about him, how he goes about his business or whatever the case may be, I don't think that's fair. I think you should do your due diligence, let him know what he's going to get. He would have been signed weeks ago.
Right.
He could have served his suspension and been ready for the playoffs.
So, but why? So I ask you, G, why do you think? Because I agree with all of that. I mean, you're on point. Why do you think the Saints worked him out?
Well, they need a second receiver. I mean, the offense is pretty much in their passing offense is pretty much look for number 13, and if he's open, throw it to him. And he's been open a lot.
Right.
But they need to take the pressure off him a little bit, and why not get someone like Antonio Brown if he's out there available? And they just want to see where he's at, because even though with the other shenanigans that Brown has been involved in the past couple of months, with the music video and his certain tweets, he's still training. He's still ready to play. So the Saints are going to see, like, well, let's see what he's got. And if he's ready, then we should consider signing him. But I think also at the same time, it's forcing the NFL to make a decision. Because like we said, like that's what's held teams off from signing him. He would have been scooped up right away if the NFL had made a decision and knew like where his standing was. But since they always take their time with these investigations, no team wants to sign him and give him guaranteed money or whatever, and then all of a sudden 6-game suspension.
Right.
So they don't want to lose money in that way.
You know, and it's funny because listening to what Sean Payton said, they asked him about it, and he spoke about it. He was like, you know, no, we obviously we worked them out. We're not signing. No, we're not going to sign. We're not signing AB now. So when he said now, it was like,
all right.
Okay, and I think that.
Well, there's also there's a financial thing with that, because if they sign him and he gets suspended, they lose money that they signed him for. But if they sign him before the playoffs, they're not the ones paying him. They get their money from the money that the players make from being in the playoffs.
The NFL has to pay him.
So here's the thing. So I think it's brilliant that they sign him because they have nothing to lose,
and they get his rights.
They get his
right. So if they're probably waiting to sign him until after the game tomorrow.
Right.
Yep.
So if they sign him for the playoffs, then they're not actually paying
on the
him.
hook for anything.
And then, like you said, even if the NFL says no, well, he's on exempt list, first of all, the NFL will look bogus, of course. And go ahead.
And if you give him 4 games, it's gonna count the playoffs, right?
No, I don't think so.
If he's on the roster,
he's on the roster. So let's say that's 2-3 games. Let's say, or even if they go all the way, 3 games, 4 games, maybe. So he missed 2 games to start the season off next year?
Now, will it go? Okay, so let me ask you. So if he's on exempt list, they put him on exempt list when they sign him, right? So he can't play on the playoffs, in the playoffs and everything like that. And then when they come out and give his punishment, will the punishment
it counts towards the exempt? Yeah, whatever the exempt, because you're already on the exempt list.
Yeah, they haven't put him on the list because he's not on a roster.
Right.
He can be on the list and not on a roster, but they haven't completed their investigation, and they're going to wait until he's on a roster to actually say something.
And then the crazy part
to actually punish him again.
I'm surprised nobody has even done it, right? Because that would have been the smart thing to do, right? Even if you're any team, right?
Well,
like,
it would have been
halfway
bad PR.
Through the season,
it's bad PR.
And I need to take that. Like, because if you get him 8 games in, 10 games in, you lose him or you exempt list. All right, boom, you lose him for the rest of the season. But you sign him to 2-3 year deal, whatever the case may be. Then you bring him back. He got the whole season next year, and he done worked out with your team because he missed all this. He gonna have the off season and.
Because look at this: when the Browns signed Kareem Hunt, They knew, well, he's probably going to be suspended. It ended up being 8 games. That's probably more than they anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
But with their expectations of being a playoff team, they're like, well, we'll have him for the second half of the season, and this can turn into something. So that was a risk they were willing to take.
But I think the thing is, though, why you hadn't seen other teams do it, or other teams still willing to deal with Antonio Brown. And see, I think the Saints, they're that organization, especially with Sean Payton as a coach.
Drew Brees,
they
can do that.
You know, like Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells wouldn't deal with it, but Bill Parcells probably could have this guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it didn't work, hey, Bill Belichick, that's why Patriots got him.
Right.
Only reason why he's not a Patriot now, because he was dumb and talking all that mess about crap. That's because I think New England would have done this. They're smart like that. I can't see no other team.
I don't think he would have went back. I don't think New England would have got him back after they did what they did.
No, the only reason why they did it because he made the tweet.
That was after, though.
Right. He made that tweet about, not Kraft, just made a tweet about whatever. And they was like, all right, we're going to put him back. But they were interested. They were looking into him. It was known that they were thinking about it. It worked. Him and Tom Brady clicked like it was.
Yeah, it was.
But when he said the things about Kraft.
Belichick was tired of the questions every time he came to it. Every time he came to a post game presser, any type of press conference, the first thing out of anybody's mouth
was
AB.
But I think it would have. The reason why they've done it because they're desperate now. They do need a receiver.
They're desperate. But yeah,
and if any team know how to shut stuff down like that, it's we're going to the next game. We're interested. You know, that's how it is. So would it work if he got signed though?
With
Saints.
I think it would. I mean, you got Drew Brees, you got Sean Payton. New Orleans fan base is ridiculous. You can have fun.
But I mean, even on the field, I'm saying, do you think it would?
Would Drew Brees pass him the ball?
If Drew Brees, all he has to do is be decisive because one of them or both of him and Michael Thomas will be open.
Because the funny thing is, with both, no matter if you double, they're always open.
Right. So what you gonna do?
You can't double both. Now you're gonna have
Thomas done caught 145 balls in 15 games.
Jared Cook will have a career year.
Yes.
He'll be a Hall of Famer after 1 year.
All he has to run 2 routes.
Up to seam.
Up to seam, or he can run a post.
Right. And it's,
that's it. That's all he has to do.
Man,
look.
Well, we're going to see what happens. Like I said, this is...
I'll see. They're going to sign him Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's going to get signed Monday. It makes sense. That's why he said... See, as a husband and then working in the media, you listen to what they say. I take everything what they say. So the fact that he said now, that stuck out to me. Oh, okay. So that means
not today.
Not right now. Not today.
Maybe day after tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, even today, because they sign him today, right? He lose tomorrow's game. That's another game out the way.
Right, but yeah, it could be. And are they willing to pay that?
And they would only be on the hook for that one game.
But if they're trying to set up their playoff roster, they probably have to wait until a certain time.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and put them on the roster just to see what they do.
All right, we're gonna see what happens. It's gonna be interesting. Well, don't touch that dial. We will be right back to talk some more football. Keep it locked.
There's a lot going on in the world, and your world is always changing. That's why it's important to stay connected. The latest news, the latest entertainment, the newest music. If it's in the air or on the air, it can be in the palm of your hand, wherever you are, with the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Over 1,500 live radio stations from across the country, and over 15 million songs to create your own custom stations. Text IHR to 45495 to download the app or listen at iHeartRadio.com. Standard text and data rates apply.
Yo, this is Champ Bailey, 2019 Pro Football Hall of Famer. I just want to give a shout out to my boys at 3 Point Conversion Radio. There it is.
All right, we are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Playoff Saturday.
Let's go, baby. Besides all this traffic that's going to be down.
Oh, yeah, it's about to be crazy down here.
Let's go, though.
Yeah. We got Oklahoma versus LSU, and then Clemson versus Ohio State. So, real quick, I was going to ask, I don't even have a nosy neighbor because I'm looking at both of these games. No, I don't have a nosy neighbor. Let's get into it. The Oklahoma-LSU matchup. Let's be real. How much LSU scores? Do you think LSU scores 60 today? Or let me ask you, do you think they can pull an upset? And the reason why I say it's an upset is because Oklahoma's defense.
And that's actually my pick. That is my pick and my upset.
Well, Oklahoma beating LSU?
Yeah.
Why you? Yeah. Okay, tell me why.
Because, man, I want to see Jalen Hurts get it done, man. I think he deserves it. As far as, I know what you're getting into, Oklahoma defense against LSU's offense. I mean, yeah, it's a mismatch. You know what I'm saying? But, man, on any given Saturday, anything can happen, man.
No, you're right.
And, man, I hope this is one of those situations where, man, Jalen Hurts so humble. Like, when we talk to him and everything, he humble. He been here before. And I think that's going to be a big factor in everything, right? Like, I've been here before. I know exactly what to do. Mm-hmm. So maybe he can get it done in this situation, man. I'm definitely rooting for him.
Here's the thing. With Oklahoma, yes, their defense is not that good. And we've seen games where the other team can shoot themselves in the foot. It could be a drop snap or easy catch, and he bobbled the ball and it jumps into the Oklahoma's defender's hands. So let's say all of that happens. Can LSU stop Oklahoma? I think that's
a bigger thing.
The question.
Right.
Because just say if you do have those unfortunate turnovers,
that fumble in their territory,
botch snap, or the botch punt return. Like if that happens, do you think LSU can stop Oklahoma's offense? That's more of the question.
It will be interesting to see who was he won the Thorpe Award from LSU, Delpit. Is that, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his name. But if he's going to be covering like CeeDee Lamb, who always seems to be open, and that's how the Oklahoma offense is schemed, you would think that with all there are several good DBs for LSU, but what makes a good secondary is really if they have a pass rush. So trying to get to Jalen Hurts is going to be a task. But I don't know if there's anyone on Oklahoma's defense to speak of. I really don't think there is.
Right.
So, I mean, you say, like, well, LSU scores 60. I think it'll be the first team to 60 is going to win. It might be 60-55.
Ooh, you don't think LSU will be able to stop Oklahoma?
From what we've seen from Oklahoma, we've only seen them struggle really defensively. I mean, offensively, that game against Baylor, they were able to come back and win and still make some plays. Mm-hmm. The offense has always been there for the most part this season.
Right.
And the way that the offense is run, players are running open all the time. That's what made Baker Mayfield look so good and Kyler Murray. Mm-hmm. And now with Jalen Hurts, it's more of the same where he's going to have people wide open. Mm. And it's just going to be on one of the defenses to make key plays. It doesn't really have to be consistent. Just make a play at the right time. Mm-hmm. And it seems like it would be LSU who could actually do that.
Right.
Even though neither defense has played that well this year.
Here's another thing also. I think that the time off could make it a big difference because now, yes, you've practiced, but the timing's off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's been, 2 weeks? Well, I guess it's
almost 3.
Almost 3. So it's more than just like a regular bye.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is timing, you know. So now, what if LSU's timing is off just a little bit? It's a lot of little tidbits that could affect this game. Now, if it was just a straight game, you looking at it, yes, LSU is a favorite. But like you said, you can't count out Jalen Hurts. He's been here too many times.
He's been here. He's been in the playoffs every year of his career.
Right. But he doesn't play defense. That's the biggest thing. Well, you know, LSU. And my thing is, I want Jalen. I'm rooting for Jalen. Like Joe Burrow right now, like that's my guy. I've been talking about my guy since last year.
Right.
But I do want to hear, what's coach's name from LSU?
Orgeron.
I do want to hear him talk after the game because he sound like Buddy from
Go Tigers.
He sound like the guy from Waterboy. The other guy, like that one guy, he sound like him. So but
dude was from the Bayou too.
Yeah, I know, that's my point. Right. So like, I know Adam Sandler's dying laughing, but yeah. Now going to the Ohio State Clemson game, this is the game I think where it's really questions you don't know. I think Clemson is the team that slept on the most. I think they're the most dangerous team in the playoffs right now.
And the most disrespected probably, right?
Yes.
Like they've been here, the last 3 years, right?
Yes.
The last 3 years.
Right.
And nobody has talked about them all year.
Defending champs.
Someone asked, what was the defensive back, the linebacker, Simmons. They asked him a question about, do you feel disrespected? He's like, I mean, yeah, we do, but it's okay. We've been here every year. We get it. It's teams out here playing great, but they still undefeated and they haven't done anything but won. But they had that close game in North Carolina, which kind of made people man, maybe they aren't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's actually my nosy neighbor. I had Travis Etienne, is that how you say his name? As my nosy neighbor. If he comes out and averages 8 yards a carry, this is gonna be hard for Ohio State to deal with.
It's in Ohio State, their defense is great. That is what carries their team.
Right.
And the fact that Ohio State don't turn the ball over. Right. But yeah, with Etienne, if Etienne has a monster game, but can he have a monster game against his front?
I mean, we're about to see at 8:00?
Right.
That's actually I want to definitely see Jalen Hurts win. But I think that the Clemson and Ohio State game overall is going to be a better game.
Here's another thing that's interesting, G. Justin Fields earlier talked about his knee. He said he wasn't 100%, still not all the way healed. Then somebody told him, say, Mama, Mama told him to sit his tail down or whatever.
100%
Shut up.
now.
Right. But I'm saying, because remember, he injured his leg the last game, championship game. So they told him to sit down, shut up. Mama told him to sit his, So now he came out and said he's not talking about it. He was told not to talk about it. How much of a factor is this? Is this big that he might not be?
I think that he was told not to talk about it because it may not be as big of a deal as people may think it is because it's a knee injury and it's football. Does he have a torn ligament? Right. Is it sprained? Is it? I mean, you don't even know what the injury actually is. You just know it's a knee injury. So, I think the intrigue there is, there's some, people trying to create a storyline. But I mean, he's the one who said it. But I think he's being told not to talk about it just so it won't be one of those distractions.
Right. Yeah. And
can that prepare Clemson to prepare for you?
But they might be smart because now they don't know if he's injured or not. So they don't know how do they try to attack him. And what if he's not injured like that? You know what I'm saying? Then they can attack. But if he is, that's a big key because we all know with Justin Fields, his ability to run the ball helps the fact that because Dobbins is nice running the ball. J.K. Dobbins, he's nice. He can run the ball. He's pretty much the engine that keeps him going.
Right.
But if but Justin can't run the ball and he's not 100%, that can affect their offense. And I think then with Clemson's underrated defense, even though they're not bringing back the starters that they had last year, the Beast, but they're still a good defense. Mm-hmm. Now, do we know because they hadn't played anybody? But still, I call this game the question game. You know, because it's so many questions you don't know. You know, they Ohio State don't stretch the field like that as far as receivers. So, what is Clemson going to do? You know,
what's your picks?
I got Ohio State. I mean, I have Clemson. I have LSU.
Ohio State and Oklahoma.
I got Clemson and LSU.
Now, I want LSU and Ohio State. Those are the teams that, but I got
want a Big Ten team to win. That's why I'm going with Ohio State.
Right, yeah. But I have Clemson, and I just think Clemson's experience. But if he doesn't throw a pick, that might bode well for Ohio State. So we'll see. All right, that wraps up our college pep rally. It's going to be some great games. Make sure y'all watch those games, and we will be back. Man, what is Arthur Blank really thinking about? Is he right? This is not coming from the GM now. This is Arthur Blank. Solely Arthur Blank. We'll be back to talk about if he's right on his decision.
Have a sports injury? Need to see an orthopedic doctor? Ortho Atlanta is one of Metro Atlanta's largest orthopedic and sports medicine practices, providing orthopedic and sports medicine care for the whole family. With 37 physicians and 14 offices, the practice provides the highest level of care for injury of muscles, joints, bones, and spine. Ortho Atlanta offers convenient access to a full range of musculoskeletal surgeons and specialists. Ortho Atlanta also offers on-site physical therapy, pain management care, MRI imaging, and workers' compensation care. The Ortho Atlanta surgery centers in Austell and Fayetteville provide cost-effective, same-day surgical procedures in an accredited outpatient center. Hip, knee, shoulder, back pain? Ortho Atlanta has you covered with specialists in all areas. Same-day appointments, orthopedic care for the whole family. Ortho Atlanta, Atlanta's choice for orthopedic and sports medicine care. Learn more at www.orthoatlanta.com.
Hey, I'm Stephon Gilmore for the New England Patriots. You listen to the 3-Point Conversion. 3-Point Conversion. 3-Point Conversion.
All right, we are back. And in Atlanta, like you said, it's going to be crazy. I just like this beat, man. I ain't going to lie. But the Falcons, man, horrible season so far. They've played better the last few games, which if you're a fan, you probably hate.
But per what I hear from their fans, they knew this was going to happen.
Right.
Like, they make sure that they don't get a top 5 received pick. They get a 7 to 10 pick. Like, it's nothing new. This is what, not just the Falcons. Well, the Hawks has done a good job of not doing that lately.
Right. I know, right? But Falcons, yeah, they're gonna do that.
It's kind of like the so it's with you see with the Chargers every year, to where they start off like 1-7,
right,
and then they finish season 8-8.
Yeah, like, oh man, that's why I tell you. That's why most teams, 98% of the teams in sports. They don't tank.
How do you tell me how you tell a player to tank? How you get on the field and tell a football player to tank?
You don't tell them to tank.
You don't tell them to tank.
You can't tell them to tank. The only way you can actually do it is by putting like worse players on the field. Like that
Sam
guy's too
Hinkie
good.
Did. Like Sam Hinkie did. You get a whole bunch of terrible
Get dudes
players
from the G League
and then go out there and win 6 games.
And whatever top picks you do get, say they're hurt and they don't play for a couple years.
Arrest them. Do like what Golden State is doing. Curry.
But the Sixers kind of perfected.
Look.
Embiid did not play for 2 years.
Dude.
Simmons didn't play for a year. They're like, our best player is Jaleel Okafor.
Yeah. And look at him now. Look at him now. They're perennial Eastern Conference finals.
That's what Golden State is doing. I mean,
Eastern Conference finals. Top 5 pick and gonna have Klay Thompson back next year, Steph Curry, Draymond, and they number 3 pick.
Steph Curry jammed his thumb in practice, and he's out for the year.
Yeah, but they on a 4-game win streak.
Right, I know, right?
Mess they self up.
Right. So, but going back to Atlanta, the Falcons, they hadn't looked good all year. It looked like the year that, hey, let's get rid of Arthur Blank. I mean, not Arthur Blank, but Dan Quinn and maybe Thomas Dimitroff. One of the two Falcon fans they want one of them gone, not both. Mm-hmm. So Blank comes out, was it yesterday? Yesterday, and said that, no, they're both going to
come back next year.
Come back, right. A lot of mixed emotions. How do you, well, you kind of alluded to how you felt about it, but how do you feel?
So I don't blame Quinn as much, right? I put a lot of blame on Dimitroff. Because of the roster he's putting together, right? Like, he didn't do nothing really on the defensive end, offensive line. He didn't really tighten up. As far as Quinn, Freeman was out, most of the season? Julio Jones was out, most of the season?
No. Julio only missed 1 game.
Yeah. At most 2 games.
No, he only missed 1. Missed 1 game.
I thought it was a little bit more than that. But, I mean, I don't blame him as much. He had a lot of things to deal with. He can only work with the roster that he has. But I probably would have got rid of both of them, and let's start this off new. But he also don't throw the ball. Matt Ryan is responsible for throwing the ball, which we know how that ends up a lot of times.
Well, this is this is what's happened. That MVP year with Kyle Shanahan, and then they try to, when they lost Shanahan, when he took that job with the 49ers, they tried to keep that going instead of trying to make an adjustment. So they brought in Steve Sarkisian to run someone else's offense. And then you bring back Dirk Cutter, whose offense is as predictable as any offensive coordinator's offense can be. Mm-hmm. And that's why he was fired the first time he was the Falcons offensive coordinator. So I think their problems offensively was that they were so predictable and bland and vague. And then defensively, Dan Quinn trying to take over the defensive calling, take over those responsibilities, and trying to rebuild what he had in Seattle, but there were certain elements that he did not have in Atlanta that he did have in Seattle, like a pass rush.
Right.
So now they changed things up. Raheem Morris is going to be the defense coordinator next year because when he took over working with the secondary, that's when they shut down the Panthers and they shut down the Saints in back-to-back weeks because of the changes that were made and kind of Dan Quinn not having to put that on himself to also call the defensive plays.
Right. Well, that's the thing with them keeping. You talk about Dan Quinn. I understand with Dan Quinn. I put it on Dan Quinn because Dan Quinn, you were brought in to get this defense up to par and be a top 10, at least top 10 defense. I know it's been injuries, but we hadn't seen that. Right. Thomas Dimitroff, I mean, he's brought in players. Like, okay, with Beasley, he hadn't done anything. I get it. But, I mean, you're not going to hit on every pick. Like, when they picked him, it was a good pick because they needed a pass rush. You're playing in the NFC South with Breeze, Cam, and Jameis. So you get this pass rusher. I get that. It didn't work. Now, let's get rid of him. That's where I think Dimitroff is messing. Let's get rid of him. It's time to move. Deion Jones, you got all these players. They got some nice players, but it's just not.
How about that line?
Is not matching. I mean, you signed Grady Jarrett. He's done some good things, but at the same time, getting Dirk Cutter, Dan Quinn, your defense well, is like the team's not responding. Yes, you would think it's time to go. But I guess Blank's decision is, first of all, he's loyal. But then he's saying, okay, everyone, we got one more year. What are y'all going to do? I think, to me, if you're Dan Quinn, this is how you're a good coach. This is what good coaches do. If you've done bad and you're looking bad, you blame somewhere else. You fire the coordinator. Show that you're trying to make a move. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but what about the offensive line? Because, I mean, I spoke about Freeman, but he played 13 games, so he only missed, one game? Now, but he ran for 166 attempts. So that means that they was behind most games and couldn't even do anything?
Yeah. They were behind.
And they offensive line, that needs work too.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing too, where you fought Dimitroff. He took those 2 picks last year, and didn't he have two first round picks?
Yeah.
And he picked
offensive linemen.
And it don't look like they're panning out.
Well, one has been hurt like the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the others barely played.
So they're going to keep him, right? What do they do this offseason though? What moves can you see them making?
What does their money situation look like? Because we know they gave Julio a bag, they gave Matt Ryan a bag. So what is their money situation?
Well, Matt Ryan,
because it's kind of hard to go. Like, you drafting offensive linemen, and they got to still learn the game. If they not them,
right,
a top 5, 10 offensive lineman pick, then it's going to take them, maybe 2 years to kind of get there, right? So
wait, because they gave Matt Ryan money. They paid him 2-3 years ago? Was it last year? Last year, right. And then you just paid Julio. Man, I don't know.
And they paid Grady Jarrett.
Yep, they paid Grady Jarrett.
And they got to pay somebody else, like Keanu Neal or something. Like I know there's not a lot of cap money available.
They're supposed to be 8.7 over the cap.
But the funny thing is, okay, so offensively, besides the line, their offense looks good on paper. With Julio, with Calvin Ridley, you got decent running backs. And defensively, they have some names, but
they expect to have $1 million in cap space.
Man. So, and before we go, is Quinn on the short lease right now?
Yeah, but
next year,
I don't know if I see Blank firing him during the season. You know what I mean?
If he's going to fire him, he has to fire everyone. I thought that was going to happen at the end of this season, but since he's bringing him back. Unless there's some kind of, if he doesn't get an extension by the end of next season, this is it. Like, if we're going into week 17 and there's no extension, this is it.
All right. Well,
he don't need an extension.
We'll see what happens.
Extend what?
I think
mediocrity.
And I think the only thing that's keeping him, both of them, is the fact that, first of all, they have a good relationship with Blank,
and they're under contract too, right?
But then too, I think the fact that Super Bowl is because they made it to the Super Bowl, so it's kind of hard. Because I mean, let's be real, but if you're not the Patriots, name another team that's been to the Super Bowl twice in the last 10 years or 15 years.
I mean, that alone is loyalty. Because in the NFL, this what have you done for me lately? Yeah, you got me to the Super Bowl 4 years ago, but since then,
Have they been to the playoffs since the Super Bowl? They have. Who did they play?
Not the following year.
The Falcons. They lost to the Eagles.
That's right.
The next year.
Yeah, they did, but they haven't been since, right? Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard because you got that team, you got that roster. I guess he's like, let's try one more year. I mean, you squint your eyes and say, well, we had injuries. You hope to not have injuries again, but, man.
Get some glasses if you squint.
Right. Then maybe you can see what's really going on. All right, so you say he won't get fired in the middle of the season. G, you don't think he gets fired in the middle of the season?
No. If he gets fired, if he's going to get fired, they have to fire everyone.
Right.
You can't do that in the middle of the season.
Everybody. Everybody got to go. Dimitrov, everybody.
Yeah, you can't. Right.
Arthur Blank gonna be on the sideline making comments.
Right, because you especially need your GM.
You gonna have a quality coach out there.
And if they fire Quinn, you got to fire Dimitrov. You can't be a GM and go through 3 coaching changes.
Right.
Because that definitely reflects on you.
Right. All right. Wow. Get ready for the Stop It segment.
He came out early and said they was going to stay, too. He ain't wait to the offseason.
Yeah, he just said it. So,
we're waiting until after the game, Sunday. It's like,
right.
No, well, let me just say this now.
Like, let's get this out the way. They're not going nowhere.
All right, man, we're going to take a quick break.
What's happening? It's your man Big T doing big things. Y'all know what it is. ATL Hawks official DJ and Rap City forever. You're checking out the 3-Point Conversion Radio. You dig?
You're tuned into WWE Peakville, AM 1100.
The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
Big ups to our Sports Lounge crew for keeping the airwaves blazing each and every Saturday. But I want to send another special shout out to our team of writers at the 3-Point Conversion. You can visit us at the3pointconversion.com. You can also like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. How about the Gram? How about iHeart? How about Spreaker Radio? How about wherever you need it, baby? We got you covered. No mercy. Don't let up on them. Go hard on Mr. Controversy. Hit him with the stop it button.
Right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. This is the time that we like to thank our supporters, everybody who is listening, watching, who've been supporting the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. We appreciate you. We ask you to continue to do that and also support the 3-Point Conversion in itself, the company, itself. And now it is time for the most infamous, the most famous Stop It segment. Let's get it.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Yes. S-T-O-P, new word, I-T. Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, D, it's on you, sir.
Yes. So, this is a pretty good one. It's very interesting, actually. The Baltimore Sun, which is a newspaper in Baltimore, they give fans the opportunity to speak on things. And Miss Karen Price wrote an article or a little statement that Lamar should have given money to a charity in the name of his offensive lineman instead of giving them Rolexes, which is pretty much the norm around the NFL when a quarterback, even a running back, has a great year. They give them a Rolex, a car, different things. So I'm actually going to give this topic to her and also the Baltimore Star for even publishing it, because they could have just left that out. So
Stop it.
Yeah, definitely take that, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's why.
When you're, black quarterback, you have to do. I mean,
that's crazy.
You just got to do everything that you.
Look, if you're a black person with money, you're not supposed to spend it. You're supposed to keep it in your pocket
forever.
Forever,
ever.
Don't buy anything. Don't buy watches.
Nothing. Don't do nothing.
Don't even buy food.
Don't even buy no Newports.
Or watermelons or fried chicken.
Right. She getting dragged too. She's being dragged on Twitter too.
Crazy. All right, my stop it goes to the trainers and doctors who are attending Zion Williamson. They are saying that they're trying to train him to run differently and walk differently.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. They might give him another one because they want him to walk differently.
Stop
and
it.
They want him to. This joke is about to be 20 years old.
You gonna try to tell me how to walk again? Like, yeah, no, that
Walk,
ain't go.
and it's not like, you know how like some people, they get sick or they have a stroke or whatever the case may be, and they have to learn how to walk. No, it's not that this joker can't walk. They want him to walk differently
because he's
so wait. So now you cramping my style. So now my little cool,
my little pimp walk.
I gotta walk differently now.
I gotta walk like a square. I can't get my little.
Come on, man.
Don Juan on.
Stop it.
They tripping.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. It's not gonna happen.
I mean, he do run.
They say he's a specimen that's never been seen. But come on, man. What
I
you
mean,
want me to
I ain't
do?
gonna lie. The way he runs kind of flicked. Like he runs weird.
But I ran like this for 20 years. I mean, what do you want me to do?
I mean, you're right. I mean, he runs weird though. Like, but still, it's crazy. But
He a tight end. He playing basketball.
Running like a penguin up and down. But hey, all right, G, what's your stop it?
All right, my stop it goes to just the Independence Bowl in general. For this product they allowed on the field. So Louisiana Tech played Miami in the Independence Bowl, and Louisiana Tech won 14-0. That's it.
Yeah,
14-0.
Right.
Miami just, well, they're definitely not what they used to be since they have joined the ACC about 18 years ago, 17 years ago. They've only been to the ACC championship game once, and they still have not found those players that made them what they were in the 80s and the early 2000s.
Right.
They played all three of their quarterbacks yesterday, couldn't get anything going, and they are far from being back. That turnover chain needs to be retired or put in the Smithsonian or something. They need to go back and reflect on what kind of season that they just had.
And they fired their offensive coordinator right after the game.
Before they got to the locker room.
He was fired.
He's out of there.
Stop it.
That's how you do it. Hey, bro.
I'm not mad at you.
Hey,
know what,
look,
fam?
he picking us back. Hey, no, you good, dog. Don't even worry about that.
Go on the other way,
Yeah,
bro.
we good.
Go on that way.
I think that's better than like when Lane Kiffin got fired from USC. That was on the tarmac.
Yeah.
When they came home. Fire him before you get to the locker room.
Like, dude, it said final, and then behind the final.
right after that on the stroll, yep.
Right.
Miami fires offensive coordinator.
After averaging 25 a game, they scored 0. Yeah, he out of there.
You know, he was like, after
he got fired with 5 minutes left. In
Hey,
the game.
Yeah, they was
like, I'm going to call the plays now. I got it.
You know, after the game, right after the game, he was like, man, but, hey, guys, so what are we going to do after? Where y'all want to go eat at?
You can go get on the coach front. You can go to the crib.
Oh, man.
We'll send you your stuff in a box.
That's crazy,
pack your office up.
All right, so that concludes our Stop It Moments. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back to talk some NBA, LeBron James, and Trae Young. Keep it locked.
Let me break down to y'all what's so dope about the three-point conversion. First of all, everybody is a fan of the game first. Second of all, everybody is a student of the game second. And third of all, we're the average sports fan just like everybody else. We're not coming in here, walking with our nose tipped high, acting snooty, acting brand new. This is a grassroots organization. Bar none. The three-point conversion, where fans' opinions matter. Be sure to visit the website www.the3pointconversion.com. Get your fix, get your articles, multimedia, and everything else that you, as a sports fan, need. So again, the3pointconversion.com. It's where it's at, man, where fans' opinions matter.
What's going on, guys? It's John Collins from the Atlanta Hawks. You're listening to the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. So, NBA talk. G, you were at the game last night. I promise you, I didn't know Giannis was not going to play.
I don't think people found out until the game started.
Okay, so I didn't want you to think that I was trying to set you up or anything. I didn't know.
No, you set me up. I know.
No, I did.
I understand.
I turned like, what?
Oh, this is why he didn't want to go.
No.
You got it as soon as you got there, like, oh.
I didn't look. He did a Kevin Hart look. No, but for real, I didn't know, man. I was like, wow, and they still got beat by 30 points.
That's beat. They got beat.
They got
the game was over in the second.
But Trae Young, I should have asked you to play that clip. Trae Young ended up spraining his ankle, I think. Turned his ankle, right?
Yeah, he stepped on, I can't remember the player, but he stepped on someone's foot, and it rolled one way, and then it rolled back the other way.
Oof.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
You know, but
he was able to eventually get off the court, but he's not
traveling with the team.
He's not traveling with the team for the next two games.
Yeah. Is he able to? Well, they said it's a possibility he might still play in Orlando. I know he's not traveling to Chicago, so they're gonna see.
No, he's not traveling with them to Orlando either.
Oh well, we just got to. I know they just sent something to us last night, and they were saying it's possible that he could. The Hawks sent something last night. So.
Well, he's low key a crazy person. If he wants,
I know, right?
He did say he wants to get back as soon as possible.
Right. So they were saying because that's why they're keeping him here just to see. Because, he got a warranty. You know what I'm saying? The young people come with a warranty now. So
go ahead and sit down, get that ankle together.
Right.
Now, if you're not injured, like we talked about R.J. Barrett earlier this season, man, you're 19, dude. You're going to play 40 minutes a night, all night, every night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. He probably eat some Skittles and be good.
They put leaving Jai out for rest.
Yeah, so. But let me ask you, though. It kind of, the way they got destroyed, I ain't gonna lie, kind of defeats the purpose of asking this question, but the impact of John Collins, do you see?
Ask the question.
Just ask it.
Just ask it.
All right, man.
Rip that Band-Aid off.
So, the fact that John Collins is back, does he help the Hawks make a run?
Where?
To the lottery?
Yeah. Top 10.
Yeah, actually, with him, they'll be a little slower getting to the lottery.
Right.
But they're still going there.
The first game, they didn't lose big, right? The first game was kind of close that he played. And John went off. John, 27 and 13, something like that.
He been gone.
And last night, you saw what happened. But, I mean, is it possible that they can get some continuity?
some moves have to be made. The way the roster is constructed, when playing all of these young players, they're going to lose games. It's not going to happen. It may have looked that way, but the Collins suspension didn't help. But as Smitty says in the chat, the Hawks need a center. The three that they've had in the rotation is just not working. There's not a lot of they're not good defensively. They're not as good defensively as they were last year. Yes, I know they weren't a playoff team last year, but having that communication and a veteran inside really helped. Like, I'm talking of Dwayne Dedmon.
He's available.
I was gonna say, speaking of that,
he said he won't out.
Yeah,
but who you gonna trade for? They gonna take Chandler Parsons back?
I mean, the Kings are usually willing to take somebody's contract. They'll take somebody's contract. If the last year the contract break,
it's gonna come off the book. So they need that. They actually need that because of the situation they got with Harrison Barnes and Bobby Hill.
But here's the thing, though. It's rumored. We don't know, but it's heavily rumored that they're looking at Steven Adams.
I mean, if they're going to make a move to get a veteran center, Steven Adams. Another name I've heard is Andre Drummond, who I think he's going to be a free agent, so he may also be available. So they do have options. If you're thinking Andre Drummond, then you probably don't make a move right now.
Right.
If you're thinking Steven Adams, he's going to have another year left. So it would have to be through trade if you want to get him now or for next season.
But does Andre Drummond? I think he does, but does he fit? Because here's the thing: we all know with Lloyd,
but who protects the rim right now?
But hold on, but Lloyd wants his team. You're right, but Lloyd, if you get all three, and does even Steven Adams fit? Because here it is with Dedmon. What they want, he fits because he can shoot threes. He can spread the floor.
Drummond has
taken threes
on it,
but
they want everyone to shoot the three, even if they really shouldn't. Like,
I don't want Drummond to shoot.
Damian Jones is out there shooting threes, and it takes him like 12 minutes to get a shot up
to wind it up. He got a winder in his back.
Oh, yeah. But here's
what was that little thing where
push shot?
But look, if they do get Drummond or Steven Adams, like Drummond would, because Trey's going to lob City. That's Lob City right there each time.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would.
And then
it
you
would
get
open
rebounds.
It would open things up, and you have that defensive anchor behind Trey, because I think a lot of teams want to take advantage of that matchup.
Right.
And like you said before, one of their issues has been they don't communicate well or at all at some points on defense. And they need that veteran defensive anchor to help that team work defensively.
Not just that, they need that veteran other than what, Carter and Evan Turner? I mean, if you look at their lineup, seriously, look at their lineup. They got 4 shooting guards, 2 small forwards, a point guard, and a center on the bench.
Well, some of those guys aren't there aren't going to be there long term.
They don't get them to help the team. That's just
in a way they have a few expiring contracts.
Right. So that's why they have that.
I mean, I get that, but that's also going to be why your record is your record. Because what are you playing? 7? They're not going to be there. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I think that they're not focused on their record this year. I think the fans hate it, but it's kind of like, let's be patient because this is
right. It's definitely a work in progress, and I think what they're doing, like you're saying, they're going to get rid of them. They know they're going to get picks, but they're trying to build it up so that they have money and maybe a free agent will come here.
All right. So now a team that's a little older. Much older, but I guess, and they're winning, well, they were winning, but now they've run into a roadblock is the Los Angeles Lakers. They have lost 4 games in a row, but what's even kind of like, they've beaten winning teams during that streak. What was it? What was their streak like? 8-14, something like that. 12, I don't know. Well, no, they won like 14 on the road. But the last few losses, they lost to Indiana. Now, when they lost to Indiana, AD didn't play. That's a playoff team, but AD didn't play. But then you lose horribly to the Milwaukee Bucks, and then you blow a lead on Christmas Day to the LA Clippers.
They lost horribly to Denver.
And then they lost to Denver. 4 playoff teams. Probably 3 of them are contenders. So, are you worried, or should they be worried about the Lakers right now? Or is it just a stumbling block?
I mean, I think it's a number of things. We had said it. I had spoke on it previously. Even when they had the great record, they hadn't really played anybody. They played some teams, don't get it twisted. They had beat Denver previously, but Denver wasn't playing well at that particular time. They lost to Toronto by a lot. They beat Miami, but Miami hadn't gelled the way they have now. Other than that, they lost to Dallas by 14. They beat Miami by 3. Other than that, they really hadn't been tested like that. But I think a number of things happens against the Clippers, right? Like, how much did you see LeBron in the post? Like, really trying to, Like, he shot, 7 threes, 8 threes or something like that? Like, it was a ridiculous number of threes. Maybe it could have been the
growing,
the growing, right? But I think it also could have been just that defense that the Clippers have. They got, come on, man.
He took 12 threes.
12 threes.
That's not LeBron don't usually take that many threes. So it could have been the growing, because that's not him.
I mean, I think the injury might be part of it, but they're still they're not a perfect team by any means. There's still flaws. They still don't have the shooters to spread the floor. Mm-hmm. I mean, they want to run the offense through AD in the post, but you got to spread the floor to do something like that, and they don't have the shooters. They have willing shooters, but not anyone who's like an actual threat.
Right.
And I think that with their second unit, they're not being used the way that you would think. I think defensively they can be good, but I think they're like it's more mental with them at this point. There are too many veterans on that team to have so many lapses defensively.
And the defensive lineup that's going to do it, because they, like you said, they're long. Because they gave the Clippers problems around the rim, right? They're long. But at what expense are you giving up offensively when you have that defense out there, whether it's McGee, whether it's Howard, whether, whoever it is at that point in time? What are you giving up? But also, you're going to play through AD. He needs the ball more in the post.
Now, I will say this. Probably the bright spot was you saw Kuzma play better, look more like himself.
So well that his trainer came out and said some stuff like the only thing you're about to do is get Kuzma traded to, I don't know, Cleveland or somewhere out of LA.
What do you say? What the agent say?
Basically that like LeBron didn't play that well on Christmas Day, and that Kawhi was better than him, and then Kuzma subtweeting said call a spade, and basically like his trainer was talking.
Somebody getting traded.
Yeah, so I feel like Kuzma. He's this close. He's close.
He already traded. I let you push me last year.
You said
I let you push me last year.
You said Kuzma came out and said a spade is a spade.
That he said that he tweeted that, but he didn't like add anybody. You didn't see any reference tweet, but his trainer put something up.
He seems to agree. That's what it says. Call a spade a spade.
I gotta make a call. Ooh, I gotta make a call so we can get some.
Dude, I let you push me last year. I let you put your hands on me last year when you pushed me over to play some defense. I let that pass.
Right.
I let that pass. Now you talking about some call a spade, dude. Go to an All-Star game. You better go sit down.
Because LeBron will be.
He gonna get traded to what? Cleveland. Yep, you going to Cleveland, dog.
Or the Knicks. I mean, it's a big market, but the team's not any good.
You can have fun in New York. Go to Cleveland. What?
Yeah, go to Cleveland.
Or they might treat him like Clark said. They traded him to Cleveland to play with LeBron, and then LeBron left him there. And now Jordan Clark just got traded to Utah. So his fun, the fun meter has to go down, I guess.
Man, I can't believe that. Well, that's interesting. So if that's the case, I can't believe that, man. That
Who do Kuzma think he is?
So and it brings
it's something else we need.
But that brings me to my next question. So, are the Lakers content with their roster? Is it too soon to say this is not good enough? Because they were winning with this roster.
But I'm saying, like, what do you do other than Kuzma? What's your trade bait?
You got quite a few. I mean,
I'm gonna give you what the trainer said exactly.
All right.
That watching Kawhi highlights from yesterday, nobody wants to speak on how sharp his skill set is compared to LeBron's. It's clear who's really in the lab and who isn't. Let me hear the excuses. I'm on vacation. I got nothing but time.
You sure that's his trainer?
Yeah, that's his trainer.
And Kuzma tweeted back, call a spade a spade.
And then he later said, turn the film on. Somebody was dodging smoke yesterday, and it wasn't Kawhi. When I guess that's when LeBron talked about his groin injury.
So it sounds like it's something brewing in this L.A. Lakers locker room.
Yeah, it is something brewing. Kyle Kuzma's finna be out of L.A.
Wow.
And that's the ammo. Like I just said, they really only have him as a trade bait, right?
So who do you trade him for?
You get a few pieces and a pick.
So, but what do they need now?
Shooters.
They need some shooters.
They need
man.
shooters.
They need some shooters.
They might trade him to the Knicks and get. I mean, it might not be like like a knockdown shooter, but I mean they'll probably trade him for somebody like Marcus Morris, or whichever Morris twin that is actually a good shooter and scorer.
Yeah. That might not. That's a veteran player. He actually brings toughness to them. You know what I mean? And he can shoot the three, like you said. That might be a good trade right there. They could probably have to package somebody with him because of salary, though.
So let me ask you this. We just throwing out stuff. The fact that Washington is looking to trade Bill, do you think that's enough to get a Bill?
Well,
to the Lakers?
They don't really want to trade him.
Do the Lakers have any money? Beal just signed that huge extension.
Well, like 3 years ago, right? It was like 2 or 3
years.
No,
like before the season.
He re-signed that? He went.
It was a 4-year, $130 million extension.
Yep, right. He did.
Like
Lakers barely have enough money to sign AD.
Oh yeah, he did sign a maximum worth 72, and it begins with the 21-22 season. Yeah, we didn't think that he would. That's what it was. We didn't think he were going to sign till.
So who? I'm trying to think who would.
It doesn't have to be an all-star caliber player.
Right.
They need a knockdown shooter.
They need a knockdown shooter. But what my point is, what Kuzma is, you can get a very valuable player because of Kuzma's skill set. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you're trading, no offense, but it's like you're trading Bradley to someone. Kuzma's young. He can score. His ceiling is high. So you can bring someone valuable where it's not just like Marcus Morris. I like that, but it could be more.
He's not
more than that.
He's not very smart though.
No, he's not smart, but sometimes you don't need smart players to play.
That's a good point. Who do you trade him for? I guess that's something we'll be paying attention to over the next month and a half.
Where's LA? I got to get LA. He got to post this on the page.
Dude, that's disrespectful.
Yeah, this is crazy.
People have gotten traded off LeBron teams for less than that.
Right, that's crazy.
Delonte West is not even in the league anymore. I know there's a number of things that goes with that, but
that's crazy, man. Well, all right. Whew, we're gonna take a quick break. Good way to end that one. This NFL 100 list, 100 players list, a team. We're about to dissect this. Don't go anywhere.
Have a sports injury? Need to see an orthopedic doctor? Ortho Atlanta is one of Metro Atlanta's largest orthopedic and sports medicine practices, providing orthopedic and sports medicine care for the whole family. With 37 physicians and 14 offices, the practice provides the highest level of care for injury of muscles, joints, bones, and spine. Ortho Atlanta offers convenient access to a full range of musculoskeletal surgeons and specialists. Ortho Atlanta also offers on-site physical therapy, pain management care, MRI imaging, and workers' compensation care. The Ortho Atlanta surgery centers in Austell and Fayetteville provide cost-effective, same-day surgical procedures in an accredited outpatient center. Hip, knee, shoulder, back pain? Ortho Atlanta has you covered with specialists in all areas. Same-day appointments, orthopedic care for the whole family. Ortho Atlanta, Atlanta's choice for orthopedic and sports medicine care. Learn more at www.orthoatlanta.com.
Happy Saturday, sports fans. It's your boy Sherm, a.k.a. the Lord of the Beats, and you are currently inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge with my man's Mr. Controversy, D Intellectual, and of course my dog G behind the boards. Cheers to the freaking weekend.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. You know, the NFL came out with the 100 players list. You know, they've been doing this 100 theme, you know, for the last, you know, for this year, you know, because this year marked 100 years, and then they're going to do a Hall of Fame where they're going to add extra players for the 100.
100 extra players.
100 extra players. You know, just playing. But it's this thing, which is cool. It's been good to see, you know, top 100 plays and things like that. So finally they ended everything with the top 100 players, and they put this best team in 100 years. They compiled the best team. And we're going to skip some positions, but I'm just going through them. We're going to just debate and see if we have a problem. So we're going to start with the running backs. So these are the running backs that made the list of the best running backs. They picked, 12 running backs. So these are Jim Brown, Earl Campbell, Earl Dutch Clark, Eric Dickerson, Lenny Moore, Marion Motley, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Gale Sayers, O.J. Simpson, Smith. They left people, said Falk should be on there.
LT.
That's what I was thinking. What I just was doing, I was looking up Earl Clark stats.
Mm-hmm.
Dutch Clark.
Yeah, he got on there because at the time he was the lead.
Yeah, he was leading, right.
Scorer. He kicked 15 field goals. He was kicking extra points.
And I'm not gonna lie, I won't take him out because you know somebody from that era. But here's the thing: is nobody from the 2000s.
No, the most recent running back, I guess you would say, is Emmitt Smith.
But let me ask you, looking at this list, now you can say Earl Dutch Clark because a lot of people don't know about him and they want to look at stats, but you can't really compare stats when back then it was a different total game. Right. I'm not going to lie. I don't have a problem with this list.
Yeah, even after me doing the research.
I think Falk, I would want Falk on here.
But who do you take out?
Who do you take off? I'm
doing the research on Van Buren. And
right.
First they have multiple 1,000-yard rushing seasons.
You can't. This list is
It
solid.
is.
Gee, you have a problem with this list?
No. I mean, if it's people from like post, you know, from the 2000s, this century, I guess you'd say, but it's hard to. I mean, it would have to be like you would be adding players. You really can't take somebody off.
Because think about it. So you look at the 30s, they got Earl Dutch Clark. The 40s, they got Steve Van Buren and Marion Motley. Not taking him out. 50s, you got Jim Brown, right? Then from there, the 6th, and Lenny Moore, beast. I think I'd have been like a big fan of his. Then you look at the 60s, you're not taking Gale Sayers off.
Gale Sayers,
you're not taking O.J. Simpson off.
That's the 70s.
Yeah, 70s with Earl Campbell.
Yeah. And then the 80s, it's Dickerson. And the 90s, it's...
Well, Peyton, too, Sweetness.
Oh, Walter Payton, yeah.
And then 90s, Barry Sanders and Emmett. Like, you're not taking Dickerson off. Like, Dickerson might be the only reason why, because when he rushed for that 2000, but he might be the only one I would take off. But if you take
when he retired, he was like top 3 all time in yards.
Right. So it's like, but if it was anybody, I would take him off of Falk.
Another person who was left off that people may have a problem with, Steelers fans, Franco Harris isn't on there.
Right. Yeah, he meant a lot, but all right, I'm going to go to linebackers. I think we good with the linebackers, right, y'all? Mm-hmm. You know, linebackers was Chuck Bednarik, Bobby Bell, Derek Brooks. I was shocked that he got on. I mean, he deserves it. Dick Buckets, Jack Ted Hendricks, Jack Lambert, Willie Lanier, Ray Lewis, Joe Schmidt, Junior Seau, Lawrence Taylor. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do?
I'm not going to trip on the defensive end. Do y'all think anybody else a defensive end? Because Bruce Smith, Reggie White, Doug Atkins, Bill Hewitt, Deacon Jones, Gino Marchetti. I don't.
I don't see an issue with any of those either at defensive end.
Right. Okay. So DT, the only thing with D tackle, Warren Sapp didn't get in. People thought he should have gotten in. Do you think he should have gotten in?
Who?
Warren Sapp.
You can make that argument.
I think he should have gotten in.
Yeah, you can make that argument.
But these people that's on here,
dude.
Woo.
Like, come on. John Randall.
Bob Lilly was a beast.
Lilly,
Randy
Joe
White.
Green.
Yeah. But Warren Sapp was the one that changed what,
D tackles do.
Right. I would take Warren Sapp over John Randall. Would you agree?
It's difficult to say him. I mean, I would have a hard time taking taking Warren Sapp over John Randall.
What?
Cortez Kennedy also could have been on here. And I've also Dana Stubblefield.
Right.
But I like the defensive tackle list.
So I'm gonna skip cornerback, safety. Let's do kickers. I'm just kidding. We're gonna.
I was gonna hang up the phone.
So, tight end, they put Rob Gronkowski on here. So you got Ditka, Tony Gonzalez, Rob Gronkowski, John Mackey, and Kellen Winslow. You left Shannon Sharp out of here.
They left Shannon Sharp, Antonio Gates, and they really limited themselves here on the tight end because they're only 5, but they went by eras, and we talked about this with the running backs. It went from Ditka to Mackey. Like Ditka was the first like true pass catching tight end. Mm-hmm. Mackey was the evolution of that, and then Kellen Winslow is the one who brought speed to the position. Right. Then you got Tony Gonzalez who brought his size and basketball skills.
Right.
And then you got Gronkowski who's just a giant. So they really went by that with the tight ends, but I felt like, I think Shannon Sharp and Antonio Gates could have also been included in some way. Okay. I think like limited to 5.
So let's do. We're going to do 2 more. We're going to do wide receivers and quarterbacks. Wide receivers, you have Lance Allworth, Raymond Berry, Larry Fitzgerald, Marvin Harrison, Elroy Hirsch, Don Hudson, Steve Largent, Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Paul Warfield. I'm taking Paul Warfield off.
Yeah, I mean he was one of the first like true like deep threats. You throw the ball down the field to him.
But gotta put T.O. on there.
T.O. is the most egregious.
Come on, man. Y'all know he's not going to be.
I know, but still.
Yeah, but why? Man, why? Because of something off the field? Because of his attitude?
Because he do push-ups in the
OJ's on this team,
OJ's on there.
OJ's on there. OJ.
Right.
I mean, I agree with him. I think he's top 3 receiver of all
time. But OJ's on here.
OJ is on
OJ is on here.
He got found not guilty. That's what they gonna say.
And he's the...
Y'all see Greg. Y'all see how G looking.
Hey, we're going to keep real in this. A black man that was tried for killing 2 white people, and he got off. And they gonna put him over
He
T.O.?
wasn't smart enough to do
But they gonna put him over T.O.? I'm just saying. They gonna put him over. Come on, man. T.O. should be on here. You take up Paul Warfield off. I gotta put T.O.
I agree.
Because he's a 60s, 70s. You got Lance Allworth. In the
Lance Allworth is one of the first.
But you ain't got nobody from the in the 70s. Since you got Steve Largent, I guess. I'm putting T.O. on there, man. Take whatever.
I agree with you.
And you put Marvin Harrison over T.O.?
Right.
Hey.
We know he did his thing.
No, I'm not even talking about that. Look, stop talking about Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, that's
before
right.
something
Let's leave it alone.
Oh, he'll pull up. He will pull up.
Wait, okay, so the QBs.
He'll pull up.
QBs. Sammy Ball. Stop it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I get that. Sammy Ball, Tom Brady, John Elway, Brett Favre, Otto Graham, Peyton Manning, Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Roger Staubach, Johnny Unitas.
Johnny U.
Drew Brees.
Where's Drew
Aaron
Brees?
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Drew Brees.
I'll put Drew Brees over Aaron Rodgers.
Definitely Drew Brees.
But Drew Brees.
But who do you take off? What do you just add to it?
Ooh.
It would be hard to take one of them off. I mean, Marino had all the records. Montana, Brady won the Super Bowl.
What about everybody else won
Would you
except
take
Marino?
Would you take Elway?
No.
I don't think you can't take Elway
take
off.
him off. He changed the game even with being drafted. Didn't he get drafted and say he didn't want to go to the table?
True, but we just looking at what Drew Brees has done.
John Elway won too. Drew Brees won one. It's the first argument.
Marino doesn't have any though.
But he
has all the records.
Right.
He had all the records. So what about Favre? I know
Favre had all the records after he broke Marino's record,
and he won too.
But Drew Brees have the records now. So do you? But I'm saying with Drew Brees, Favre only has one.
It's. I mean, championships. I don't think championships was a tiebreaker.
No, he has one.
He has two.
No, he doesn't.
Favre, he went to two.
He went to two. He has one.
Well, let's say key accomplishments here: Super Bowl champion 2 times.
Favre?
Yes.
No, that's wrong.
Let's check.
Wikipedia doing you wrong right now.
Yeah.
No, this is the NFL 100.
Well, they're wrong because
he
went
played
to
in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah. He won against New England and he lost against the Denver Broncos, and he ain't never been since.
I think we're just saying like you got to add those, add some players.
Oh, you got to put you can't leave Drew Brees out though.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you don't take nobody off. You just got to add them.
But the most egregious of the whole thing is T.O.
T.O.
I agree. I think we all can agree with that. Like, really?
Right.
Like, top 3 receiver, like, arguably.
And then last but we about to go. The coaches: Bill Belichick, Paul Brown, Joe Gibbs, George Halas, Curly Lambeau, Tom Landry, Dan Quinn, Vince Lombardi, Chuck Noll, Don Shula, Bill Boston. Just want everybody caught that. I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, there was nobody else I would put in there. I mean, these guys.
You know who I would put in? You got to put in. You're right. You can't take none of them. Forget Curly Lambeau.
I mean, they all won a championship. They all won championships.
I'll put Bill Parcells over Joe Gibbs.
No.
Joe Gibbs won. Wait, he won 3.
He won 3
That's
with
right.
3 different quarterbacks.
That's right. I take that back. That's right. I don't know.
Ran out of music bad, man.
All right, man. We're about to take a break. I will put Bill Parcells in there. You got to put him in there.
So just add him?
Just add Parcells?
Yeah, you got to add
So it's not going to be, isn't it 100 players?
Yeah.
So what, we taking it like 108 players now?
Just add one kicker.
We'll add one kicker.
Yeah.
One
you don't have 2 kickers?
They got 2 punters. They get rid of one of the punters too. Both of the punters from Oakland too.
I care about punters.
Both
Get
of the punters
one dude.
came from Oakland too.
All right, man. We're gonna take a quick break. We gotta go. We got guests on the line or Dr. Fall on the line. We're about to take a quick break. We will be right back. But there's your list.
Have you been looking for a radio station that gives you sports,
I don't believe it! It's a touchdown!
entertainment,
Are you not entertained?
and other special interest talk shows?
Well, isn't that special?
All on one app?
Yo, that's dope. What app is that?
It's the Real 1100 AM app for WWE. Grab it for free in your Google Play or Apple App Store today.
This Sheldon Richardson, defensive tackle for the Cleveland Browns. Here to shout out 3-point conversion, man. Radio show. Hot, 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 hot,
hot. All right, we are back inside the 3-point conversion sports lounge. And we have our cousin, Dr. Donnie Fowler III, orthopedic for Ortho Atlanta, and to talk in the segment Ask a Doc about injuries. What's going on, Doc? How's it going?
Doing well. I was gonna say I was thinking of having to give you that stop it button as a Redskins fan if you kept going about Joe Gibbs not belong there. So.
Give it to me, G. He asked for it, so I.
I'm just messing around. You guys doing okay?
Yeah, how about yourself? How was your holiday?
It was short, but good. So.
All right, I got to get to stop it. So, I mean, you gave it to me. You're right. I caught myself, but you're right.
Stop it.
Okay, I deserve it. So, Doc, man, it's an interesting weekend. The big game today, Ohio State, they're playing Clemson tonight, and man, Justin Fields, he stated that, we talked about this earlier, he stated that his knee wasn't fully healed earlier, then he decided to, I guess he got advice to stop talking about it. But how concerned should Buckeyes fans be today during this game, or for this game?
Yeah, so obviously the comments from him initially came out that he felt he was 80 to 85% better. His initial injury was a MCL sprain, the ligament on the inner part of the knee, and he'd worn a couple different braces over the last few games. He only missed a couple plays a couple weeks ago, but otherwise has been out there. So I think, all in all, he's done fine. I think his mobility has been affected a little bit, but certainly he's still been able to move around, run when he needs to, and certainly throw the ball. So I don't think it's as big a deal as maybe some people are making it. Now, I think the big mistake was obviously him talking about it in the first place. Right. You could kind of imagine the whole coaching staff cringe as he's saying that to everybody out there. So I think it's just more being smart with anything. It's not like it was an ACL or anything like that. MCLs are fairly common, so as long as it's braced, I think he's going to be out there. I think he'll be effective, and I think it's going to be a really good game all in all between Ohio State and Clemson, at least better than the LSU-Oklahoma game.
We agree.
Yeah. So Dak Prescott's been nursing a shoulder injury the last two games, and he's missed the last few practice, but he said it's a go on Sunday. Will rest actually heal or help his shoulder for Sunday, or will he still be affected?
Yeah, so he had taken a hit, and they've just called it a shoulder sprain. Honestly, he has said that it's not limiting him. I watched most of that Cowboys-Eagles game, and certainly he was missing some throws, overthrown a little bit, and so I don't know how much of that was possibly with the shoulder and trying to compensate, and some of it just being the game flow itself. So I don't think he's 100%. I think with the continued rest, and I know he's not really taking reps in practice, it will continue to improve. They're not saying anything is torn, that it's just sprained or inflamed. So I think it'll get there, but at this point, I would like to think that the Eagles are going to beat the Giants, and it'll be a moot point when they beat the Redskins, which they will beat the Redskins. But I think he'll be effective, but just something still doesn't seem right when you watch him throwing. Like something still looks a little off in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It looks like he's definitely nursing his shoulder, but he's a gamer, so hopefully he does get in. Might be even better for him not to get in the playoffs to help the shoulder for next year. So we'll see. But everybody wants to get in. They're talented enough. So
on paper,
yeah. Well, for real, they talented. They just not playing it. They need another coach, I guess. But J.J. Watt is talented enough, and he is set to return from a torn pectoral. Now, here's the thing. They told him to be back. He's recommended to be back for 4 months, but he came back in 2 months. Is he risking damaging it again, like playing, because he didn't take the extra 2 months that he's supposed to take?
Yeah, so this is, one of those things. Obviously, they initially said he'd be out for the season. How much of that was thinking if they'd be in the playoffs or not is a little bit to be determined. But regardless, yes, 2 months is certainly on the much quicker end of the spectrum for rehab. Repairing a torn pec tendon, it usually takes at least minimum 4, probably closer to 6 weeks for a tendon to heal once you reattach it to the bone, and then even longer to ultimately build the motion and strength back. Now, obviously, what's different, of course, for professional athletes than you or me is they got access to all the other, high-tech new stuff out there with the cryotherapy. I'm sure they were doing some form of growth factor injections, whether it be stem cells or PRP or some of the other things we've talked about. So I'm sure they've accelerated things as much as humanly possible with these kind of adjuvant measures. And certainly I don't think they would march him out there if he didn't have kind of full motion, full strength, not having any pain. My guess is they might have even done a repeat MRI scan to ensure that the tendon looked fully healed back to the bone before they throw him back out there and risk further injury. So it sounds like he's ready to go. I don't think he's going to be compromised or put himself at a higher risk, and I guess hopefully trust the medical staff that they didn't rush him back too soon.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. That could be big. Now, we know LeBron recently re-aggravated his groin on Christmas, and we know how that affected him last year and affected the entire Lakers season. You think it's possible that he won't miss any time with that injury?
Yeah, so initially they said they feared he might miss some time. I believe it's his right groin this time. It was his left groin last year that was, they're saying, the more severe injury that kind of derailed his season a little bit. So at least it's not the same side, and they're saying it's not to the same extent. It's more minor. So they're saying, I know he traveled with the team, that he may be playing this weekend. But again, the groin, those tendons in the groin, similar to a calf or a hamstring, any of them are something that you can kind of chronically irritate and keep re-aggravating throughout the season if you don't let it rest and heal properly kind of the first time. So I know he wants to be out there. My gut is that he's going to play, but I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up still being something that lingers on over probably the next month or so until it gets closer to 100%.
All right, there you have it. Dr. Donnie Fowler with the information that we need. We appreciate you, sir. Hopefully you had a great Christmas and you have a happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, guys. Look forward to seeing you next week.
All right, thank you. All right, so it is time for What's on My Mind. And this is what's on my mind. What's on my mind is we talk about what's on our mind. It's just something that's on our chest that we feel like we need to, get off our chest, whether we don't understand, we don't like, we like, or whatever it is. Serious or whatever. So quickly, we're going to do quick 2 minutes if we can. What's on my mind is talk about LeBron James, and this is because it's pressed for time, but LeBron James with the groin, now it's the left groin, not the right. He's getting old. That's what it is. You just have to deal with injuries like this. We've seen him dunk and do all these crazy things, but you're going to see nagging injuries like this. I mean, elbow or, whatever it is. Now, what makes me think about this and why I bring what's on my mind makes me think about this is LeBron's 34, has a groin injury. He plays through it. AD tear a fingernail off, holding his finger. He's listed day to day. LeBron's traveling with the team. AD get hurt every game. Like, bruh, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Then he from the Chi. Like, I don't get that. So what's on my mind is I don't understand how LeBron can be 34, probably go through, you're going to deal with minor injuries like that, but yet still able to play through it. You don't see him grimace. You don't see him do all of those things, but AD's rolling on the floor because somebody stepped on his foot. Hopping on one foot to the other corner, bending down, take 5 minutes, shoot his free throw, sit down. Now he comes back to play, but it's like, come on, AD, man. Come on, dog. Represent the Chi better than that. That's what's on my mind.
Yeah, you do have a hang there. He'll be out for 2 weeks.
Right.
If you don't take that nail off and
right.
wrap it up and go hoop, man, get out of here, man. LeBron be out here with it. Remember AI used to play with his ACL hanging out his knee, out there dropping 40. What's on my mind is actually something we just talked about a little while ago, Dak Prescott. So he's been nursing a shoulder injury. It kind of goes into what we always say about, paying NFL players, because you never know what can happen. They can kind of bring their stock down. All year, all season, even before the season started, when Ezekiel wanted to get paid, Dak said nothing but the right thing. He always was like a company guy, making sure everything was taken care of. Well, this past week, when they asked him about his contract situation, you can kind of hear him being agitated a little bit more, him being a little bit more frustrated with the situation. Like, he knows it's a business, and, it wasn't that company phrase that he's been saying. I think that Jerry Jones kind of dropped the ball here, acting as if he doesn't want to pay him the way that he, not only deserves to be paid, but how quarterbacks are paid at this day and time. And I just hope that Jerry go ahead and pay him and not come with this franchise tag that might happen, because we see what that usually turns into. But if he definitely franchise him this year or whatever, I think Dak not going to be a Cowboy. But we'll see. But that's what's on my mind.
All right. Definitely agree. I don't think Jerry dropped the ball. I think Dak dropped the ball by not signing, or not even dropped the ball, but now what happens? But anyway, I digress. Please stay tuned, because this is the part where it's time to go, but we have a couple of shout-outs, and you might be one of them. First of all, I want to shout out Almighty God for giving me this platform to do what I do, say what I say, make people upset, mad, happy, want to give me the stop it button. God, I appreciate this. Also, like I was saying, I agree with you about the Dak. I hate that it happened, but I really don't think Jerry dropped the ball.
Thank you, Raphael.
You're welcome, Jerry.
That's why he always talking about Jerry to do something, but he want that good. And he know Jerry got power. So
right. I also want to thank our sponsors, Ortho Atlanta and Cindy's Barbershop. Also, I want to thank Cuz Dr. Donnie Fowler for coming on and giving us his info. I want to thank G, my engineer, my Road Dog co-host, The Intellectual.
Yes, sir. I just want to thank everybody for always listening. Friends, family, fans, everybody that tune in to us. We see we steadily making moves. And happy holiday, man. It's family time, depending on even if you don't believe in it, right? You don't have to believe in per se the holiday, but definitely believe in being with your family, cooking, hanging out, doing things that you don't normally do. And I know even mostly across the nation, it hasn't really felt like Christmas, I guess, because of the weather and things like that. But it's still, Christmas and holiday times, New Year's coming up. And please remember, have fun today. This is the last Saturday of the decade, man. Make sure we have a ball.
Yes. Also, I want to thank my beautiful wife, children, beautiful children, auntie, uncles, brothers, sisters, cousins, nephew, nieces, grandparents, play cousins. Love family. Let family know that you love them. Love them while they're alive. Also, eat good. Watch these games. Some great games today. Man, let us know who you pick. Go to the 3 Point Conversion Facebook page. Follow the page. Also, go to 3 Point Conversion Facebook page. We got the GoFundMe for the 3-point conversion crew that's going to Miami, who's covering the Super Bowl. We're providing great content for you all, interviews, have some surprises for you and everything. Also, hey, just enjoy yourself, man. Treat yourself this weekend. Next week, same time, same show, same crazy host, same sports nonsense.
And a new year.
And a happy new year.
2020.
2020. I don't have 2020 vision, but 2020. Will you miss me? Peace.
Peace.
You just got done listening to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts at the 3-Point Conversion. And also make sure you check out our website, the3pointconversion.com. Be sure to follow us live and listen every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Hadouken!